Brand new now on BBC Two, Clare Balding has the inside line on people, places and horses in race country.
If all goes to plan, maybe one day this fella will grow up to be a Derby winner. Good afternoon and welcome to Race Country. I'm Clare Balding. Now, I grew up not far from here, surrounded by beautiful animals like this. We're in Lambourn in Berkshire. It's a place known as the Valley of the Racehorse. Every morning, over 1,500 finely tuned equine athletes come thundering up these gallops. But this series is not just about the horses, it's about people. It's about village life, and it may look small, but my word, we've met some characters. And coming up on Race Country, doing the rounds with one of the busiest men in the valley, equine vet Bobby McEwen. It's foaling time in Lambourn, so we're burning the midnight oil with head lass Tracy Wickham as she assists with an extra special delivery. And they may be little, but the competition is huge in the Shetland Pony Grand National. And I'll be putting Lambourn's top tipster Jerry McCann to the test. Lambourn is home to some very big and famous racing yards, but there are plenty of small trainers too, chasing success in a competitive world. Two miles south of Lambourn, Castle Peace is a 14-acre site run by trainer Mary Meek. Glaswegian Mary bought the site with her husband and made the life-changing move down to Lambourn with daughters Lauren, 16, and Megan, age 6, gambling everything on becoming a top professional trainer.
Steady now, steady now. Yeah. The dream for the moment is to get going this year, have probably 3 winners within the year, and I dream of just being successful.
So far, it's been tough. Mary lost 3 horses due to injury, and when the other horses picked up a virus, they had to stop racing altogether. Amid the stress, her husband left. If she was to continue, Mary would have to do it alone.
This yard is very much a sisters are doing it for themselves kind of yard. And yeah, we all just muck in and get on with it. If there's something needs to be done, we just get on and do it. I have managed to put a bracket up for the television. I can do some fencing. Just got to give it a go. Not that I really want to do it, but I've got to try and learn to do it. Right, come on then girls, let's go. Who wants to have a race? Go! Come on, Molly!
To keep the dream alive, Mary desperately needs to start winning real races. Her best hope is Balak, back in training having recently been laid low with a virus. Balak goes well, but Mary has some concerns.
She just made a little noise which may indicate that she's still got a slight bit of something in her lung. Other than that, she's feeling good and feels as if she wants to go on.
There's no army of stable lads and lasses to do the dirty work at this yard.
I like to give them a bath and then put some clean shavings in their box and like to see them roll.
So the horses are rolling in it. 5-star accommodation and round-the-clock room service. As for the humans at Castle Peace, well, a house would be a start. For now, Mary and her daughters have to squeeze into the caravan next to the barn.
Does anybody like a drink? It's really hard working in the kitchen. There's not a lot of space to actually work on. And we sort of tend to have pots and plates everywhere at meal times. But you soon get used to it and just do what you can. I believe in what I'm going for. I believe that I can do it, and I believe that it's a better life for the children. It's really hard for us all at the minute, particularly for the children. But hopefully things go right, then their horizons will widen.
And we'll be following Mary's progress as she races against time to find that elusive first winner of the season. It's foaling time in Lambourn, which means it's all hands to the pump at the various stud farms around the place, and Kingwood, on the edge of the village, is no exception. 8:30 p.m. and Tracy Wickham is doing the evening rounds at Kingwood's very own maternity ward.
Oh, hungry mummy. Hello, Baba. Basically, this is sort of late night feeding, checking everything's okay, checking all the foals are on the suck, making sure their welfare is 100% really.
Each foal is a potential future champion and worth thousands, so they're very well looked after.
This foal's under ultraviolet light still, red lights, heat lamps. It's still very young, it's only 2 days old. It's a hard life really, poor little babies. Ruby will pick up the scraps.
So far this year, the stud has had 7 new arrivals, and next in line to give birth is Mackenzie's friend, who's overdue by 11 days.
Hey, Sweepy.
During the foaling season, Tracy keeps watch 24 hours a day. It's her job to act as midwife at every delivery.
Come here, baby. Just popping the heat sensor on her, so I've got an alarm on. Oh, got an alarm on her during the night. She's had this on for a couple of nights now because she's been moving along quite nicely. And basically all the alarm is a heat sensor that lies against her neck, but as she starts to foal and get a little bit worried, she starts to sweat up. And you pop it on there, and that's it.
The alarms and CCTV are rigged up to Tracy's house, so she can be back at the stables in seconds when the big moment comes.
Understand, I haven't got it.
Horses tend to foal after dark, but so far there's no way of telling if tonight's the night for Mackenzie's friend.
It's quite good. You've got all the mod cons, you've got the TV and the alarms, which is a huge difference. If you can imagine life without cameras and without alarms, you're basically living outside, running in and out every hour, every half an hour even. So it's not so bad.
Watching and waiting is a way of life for Tracy, and it could be another long night. The Valley's Equine Hospital is on the outskirts of Lambourn. Bobby McEwen, one of a dozen specialist equine vets at the practice, has arrived for his 12-hour shift.
Yeah, where is she?
It's just another day. He starts at 7 a.m. and can see up to 25 patients a day.
You'll jump off, we'll have a bring it in. Hello, fella. Into the barn up there.
First up today is Mistral de la Cour, a promising 5-year-old racehorse brought in by local trainer Lavinia Taylor, who's concerned about his swollen leg.
There's a very moderate size enlargement to the outside of the cannon, and we're quite worried that it might be a fracture splint. It might be affecting the horse's performance. So we're just taking just a few shots to see if there's a fracture. It's not a fracture. We might just put the scanner over it, ultrasound scanner over it, to see if there's any soft tissue damage there.
If the horse has fractured his splint bone, it would rule him out of racing in the near future.
It's a little bit strange, isn't it, mate? Eh? Oh.
Straight lateral. Good. That's a good one.
There's a tense wait for the results. In the meantime, Bobby is asked to examine his next patient, a horse with a fearsome reputation.
We got to castrate a colt, a 4-year-old colt, which is apparently savage. So it should be quite interesting. We castrate them usually standing. If he's too wild, we'll have to book in a time, maybe this afternoon, knock him down. But we'll try and go and castrate him. Apparently he bites people and kicks, but there we go. Let's hope we get away with it.
Bobby is not taking any chances. Other vets have been scared off in the past, so he tranquilises the horse before daring to go where no man has gone before.
Right, that will take about a minute to work, and then I'll get some local anaesthetic.
Castration, or gelding, is common practice in the racing world. It makes hot-headed young men much calmer.
When they're gelding, they tend to lose condition, lose weight, and therefore they're taking less weight on their limbs and they're less likely to have fractures or tendon problems. So they become more athletic, really, as geldings. And this is quite a heavy topped horse. There you go.
But there's a hidden surprise in store for Bobby.
We are not doing this horse today. This horse is a rig. Okay, take twitch off, which means he's got one undescended testicle. So he will need a general anaesthetic. He'll need to be knocked down, and we'll probably do that tomorrow. I shouldn't think, he's a pretty savage horse, so nobody's looked underneath him before they sent him in. So he's got one testicle actually in the abdomen and one in the scrotum, so it'll be a general anaesthetic and a fairly major operation. You can let him down now. So we won't be castrating him. That was a shock, wasn't it?
Well, the complication means this fella keeps hold of his manhood for at least one more day. Back in the treatment room, trainer Lavinia Taylor anxiously waits for the x-rays that will decide the racing future of her horse, Mistral de la Cour.
Right. These are Miss Taylor's x-rays. That's the cannon bone we're looking at, and we're trying to ascertain whether there is a fracture, but it doesn't appear to be a fracture on that shot. It's another good x-ray, so we won't need any further x-rays, and there's no fractured splint there.
No bone damage, but Bobby still needs to find the cause of the swelling.
With the ultrasound image, anything which is fluid comes out as black. Anything harder comes out as a white image. All that is fluid around there. I can't see that affecting the horse in a race, to tell the truth, and I personally would carry on.
One relieved trainer heads home, but for Bobby, his day is far from over.
Hello, Mrs. Campbell. It's Bob McEwen here from the vets at Lambourn. Hi, sorry about this afternoon.
Country villages, you might expect the most popular shop to be the post office or the supermarket or maybe a clothes shop. But here in Lambourn, given the dominance of racing, it's a betting shop. Surprisingly, there's only one bookmaker's in the village, and with the amount of racing expertise in this area, you'd expect the shop to be paying out regularly. Balthazar Fabricius is the Ladbrokes rep. Balthazar, how much of a profit does this shop make compared to other shops, given that the customers coming in here are presumably much better informed than your average Joe?
Yeah, well, I think it'd be safe to say, Claire, basically that this shop would be a lower margin shop than some of our other shops, in the sense it would be less profitable than general shops across the estate. It's just providing a service to a community that lives and breathes racing, clearly, so I guess the betting is going to be slightly more informed than perhaps elsewhere. What sort of person are we talking about? Are they sharper than your normal customers? They're sharp cookies, yeah. Yeah, no, they follow the racing day in, day out. There'd be a lot of pub gossip, I'm sure, about some of the horses that have been trained locally, and I'm sure they'd be wanting to maybe back what they've been hearing over a few pints. And the place to meet the local betting expert is just over the road. The Wheelwright Arms is a hotbed of local racing gossip. I've heard rumours that I can find one of Lambourn's best tipsters there, and I've decided to put him to the test.
Jerry McCann has been a work rider for local trainer Marcus Tregoning for the past 7 years, but he's spent a lifetime in racing and used to ride the celebrated Derby winner Nashwan. But I've been told that he has a real knack when it comes to backing the right horse at the races. Here's a man hard at work. You're studying that form, Jerry?
Yes, at 3 o'clock at Yarmouth. It's very difficult racing today, but I think this is the one we might find easiest.
I mean, how often would you have a bet? Every day?
Every day, yeah.
And do you treat it like a sort of crossword puzzle, you know?
No, it's a business.
So on the balance of your books, how have you done over the years?
Have some good days and some bad ones.
It's no mean feat cleaning up at the bookies. Of the £10 billion gambled on horses every year, just 10% of that is paid back in winnings. Jerry uses a combination of methods to pick the winner. He checks any changes in the weather which could affect the going. He looks carefully at the draw the horse has been allocated because the ground can differ from the inside to the outside of the course. He also looks at the breeding of the horse, particularly at how the sire coped with similar ground. So Jerry, what are we going to actually pick? What are we going to back here?
Well, I got it down to the 2, and I'm going to go with, if the price is right, When Dice Lass.
One's Dyke Lass, okay. Trained by Mick Shannon,
Ted Durkin rides. He's shown form on the soft, and Mick Shannon's horses always improve as the year goes on.
How much are we having on?
So we have score each.
20 quid?
Yeah, oh, okay, tenner each then.
Tenner each, yeah, tenner each is plenty. Now this is such a punter-friendly pub that they've actually got the betting slips here, so we can fill them out, nip across to the betting shop and get back. So we're going to have £20 to win. £20 invested.
That's it. Get your money out.
Get my money.
Let's
Where's
go.
My money?
Here we go.
This is frighteningly convenient because from the pub to the betting shop is about 20 strides.
About that, yes, yeah.
By the time we get to the bookies, the unfavoured Wansdyke Lass has moved out in the betting from 5-2 to 3-1, and the 9-4 favourite Grand Ocean is being backed as if it can't be beaten. The worry is the horse is drifting. It's drifting in the market, so it's going out. So it means there's no confidence behind it at all. It does mean we get a better price, but it basically means that no one thinks that she's going to win.
Except us.
Except us. By the time we place our bet, the horse is out to 7-2. We're looking for green colours, Yellow Star.
And yellow
Yellow
Star. This is the Howards Group selling stakes, a mile and a quarter. They're off and they're racing, and the favourite was a little sluggish. Bellini's runs third, and behind this one as they go down the far side is the big outsider Lakesdale. Tracking this one comes Wansdyke Lass. They're not messing about.
She's going all right at the moment. She's sort of settled in the middle of the field, moving up now to 4th place. Quite a long way to go. What do you think?
We think the leaders might have went a bit fast early on, so they will come back.
She's travelling nicely enough now. Don't go too soon, Ted. Hey, look, and the favourite's off the bridle.
Yes.
Good girl, she's cruising.
Fourth
to run.
And just slip out, but she should stay.
She's in 4th. Everybody else is moving, and she's not. She's absolutely cruising. She really is.
Here comes the favourite on the outside.
Go on.
To stay on, but he's given himself a lot to do.
Go on, girl. Go on, Wansdyke Lass. Go on. She's hit the front now. Go on. Go on. She's pricking her ears. Look. Go on. Go on, good girl. Go on, don't stop. Don't stop. Look, she's dossing. She's dossing in front. Jerry, you genius. Genius. Well done. Very good.
Mission accomplished.
What do you do with the ticket?
I give it to you.
No. I dropped it. Give it to me. Lambourn is usually a beautifully calm and tranquil corner of West Berkshire, but not today. Today is Lambourn Open Day, when 7,000 visitors descend on the valley.
6 wide out, open them up.
Stud farms and yards open their doors to the public today, and racing enthusiasts can see parades of horses and even demonstrations of them being schooled. But in one field behind the church, it's serious business as owners and trainers prepare their horses for the big race, the Shetland Pony Grand National. Joe Akehurst is entering his 11-year-old Shetland, Drambuie.
He always wants to win. You know, if he can win, he will. You know, he won't ever sort of hold back to get in front. You know, so hoping for a good result.
Joe is desperate to become a professional jockey, but today he's confined to the sidelines. At 15, he's grown too big to ride Drambuie anymore.
I rode him for 6 years. Had a lot of fun with him. Had quite a good 6 years with him. Lots of success. Although they're only small, they're so hyped up and like a thoroughbred, you get used to the racing.
Joe has chosen 8-year-old Sam Twiston-Davis to ride Drambuie. It's a good choice. Sam's dad is Nigel Twiston-Davis, famous racehorse trainer who's had 2 Grand National winners and was successful as an amateur jockey. That could bode well. Let's hope that Sam is a chip off the old block.
He gets on very well with the pony. He's quiet with him. He's competitive. He's very much like a jockey in miniature, really. So it suits it. And the pony's like a miniature racehorse, so they get on very well.
I think I just do what he normally does, just take the inside, then just if he's slowing down at the end, just get him going again. So try and win. I just want to do as best as I can.
But he should be all right. No, he will be all right. Positive thinking.
I think I could come in the first 4 if I try really hard.
He gets off to a flying start and leads the field for the first lap. But oh no, he peaked too soon, and by the finish line, Drambuie looks as though he could do with a lie down.
I think you finished 4th, yes. I think that was fine, I think.
We went round once and then there was the jump on the other side, and the brown and white just came into a bit, so I had to steer right because I lost the inside.
But he can't dwell on the last race. It's straight into the final, and Sam is feeling confident.
I think I might do a bit better, might get 3rd or something.
Sam gets off to a good start. He completes the first lap in good time, and he's on the inside. But number 6 has muscled in on the action and is speeding towards the finish line. That was brilliant.
Very funny.
But Sam and Joe don't think it's funny. 4th place again.
I rode him a bit different from last time. This time I just got the inside with him, then popped him back into 3rd, and we just worked our way in from there. Great fun day, and I can't wait to do it next time.
The waiting game is nearly over for Tracy Wickham at Kingwood Stud. 11 days overdue, Mackenzie's friend is finally showing signs that she's about to fold.
She's been very, very uncomfortable. She's been walking around quite a lot, digging and rolling. Quite sort of stressed in herself, very worried look on her face.
Tracy knows that Mackenzie's friend is at a critical stage and that things are now moving very quickly.
Down here, where she's filled right up in her bag, she's now actually starting to run milk. So it's a sure sign that the foaling is very, very close. You see she's very uncomfortable. Lengthened out behind, she's actually starting to get a bit warm. So we'll just leave her to her for a minute, just let her walk around and let her do her own thing. Their minds finds it a little bit distracted because they're in quite a lot of pain, so they're just sort of walking around, kicking at themselves, looking around. It's just also something to distract themselves, really.
Tracy knows what's at stake, and despite her experience, she feels the pressure.
Definitely a little nervous, yeah, just, anticipating that everything goes okay and Mum's all right and Babe will come out okay, and there she goes.
The mare's waters break, and a few moments later, the foal's legs start to appear.
A lot of the time the foals actually get stuck with their shoulders and their elbows, so it's almost easier just to manoeuvre one leg out first. That's a good girl. And then a little pull on the other one. That's it, good girl. That's a clever girl. Mummy's contracting very well, folding very easily. That's a good girl. Just ease him out all the time down towards the ground, towards Mummy's hocks. Nice big baby. Look at you. Clever Mummy. There we go. Just slip the rest of him out. I say him, I'm hoping him. He's a lovely big foal.
This year, the stud has produced 11 girls and 4 boys, so Tracy is hoping for another boy.
Yay, we got a colt. The boys are catching up with the girls. We like it. There's nothing quite like seeing healthy foal coming out, nice, easy foaling like that. You're obviously happier when Mum does eventually stand up and Baby stands up and they're happy drinking and she's past her placenta, no problem. Then you're very relieved, but at the moment she's pretty relaxed there. She's done a very good job, nice and easy. Produce a lovely, healthy young man. Hi, Mum. Oh, clever girl. Right, and that's all I can do for the moment. I'll just literally let her have a chat to him. Oh, tumble.
Within minutes, the newborn is trying to get to his feet, but his legs are tensed up following the birth, and Tracy decides to lend a helping hand.
A bit of help? A bit of help? No, crashed and burned. Crashed and burned. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Oh, clever boy. This is a little bit dangly on those legs. So let's just give him a little bit of support. You're not going to live in the corner, young man. Oh, Mummy. That's better. That's better. No.
Now standing, if a little wobbly, the foal wants its first taste of Mum's milk.
At this point, we quite like to get the arrows out and go, you need to go this way a little more. But that's pretty good. He's, he knows where he's going. He was only born, 15 minutes ago, so it's pretty good that he's actually stood up now and pretty much knows where the milk bar is. Probably one of the most perfect sounds on earth, that first drinking sound of a foal off a mare. And that is a perfect sight. There is no better sight than that. Excellent outcome. Couldn't hope for better.
It's been a long night, and finally Tracy returns home to catch up on some sleep. I'll be spending more time with the mares and foals at Kingwood Stud in tomorrow's race country, when we'll also be doing some horse matchmaking, visiting a romantic stallion with a passion for blondes.
On here.